Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is Dark Souls 2. Do you know what Dark Souls is? If you don't, well then I'm gonna have to explain because Dark Souls, if you're an RPG lover and you're a challenge lover and you're a good game lover and you're a dark world lover, like creepy, scary stuff, then this game is fantastically awesome. This game is really hard. It built a name for itself as being so difficult that you're gonna get your ass kicked, but it's not tediously difficult. You always improve off of your previous deaths, and it's just a fantastic RPG. And if you haven't played any of the Soul series, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a huge fan of RPGs, just because it's super challenging and super fun, and it's a really good game. So, what is Dark Souls 2? It's a game by FromSoft and published by Namco Bandai. Um, and it's a predecessor, not really predecessor. It's got a lot of its game design taken from the Kingsfield series, which was originally released on the PlayStation 1. And there were lots of Kingsfields, and there were a couple that weren't released in the U.S. because it was hard, and it was a very different kind of game that the U.S. players didn't really like at the time. Kingsfield was very similar to the Dark Souls. It was first-person, gritty, old, explore a destroyed realm, finding cool weapons and gaining great magic and stuff like that. And then there was another one, the Ring series or Ring Saga or something like that, which was on PlayStation 2, and then Kingsfield 5, etc. And just there were lots of Kingsfield, and then came Demon Souls, which was the one that brought this game to the light, to the mainstream, and then came Dark Souls 1, and then Dark Souls 2. Let's get into the game. I'm not gonna go into the options menu. All I need to say is it's very customizable. So here's the intro of the game.
Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land.
I'll try to keep as many spoilers out of it. I mean, aside from the intro, which it's not really a spoiler if it's the very beginning of the game anyway, so.
A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything. Once branded. The symbol of the curse. An augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drangleic. Perhaps you're familiar. No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why.
Okay, and that goes on for a little bit. I don't want to take too much time watching the cutscenes. But the character customization in this game is very good. It's also, I don't think I mentioned that it's a single player online RPG where you're playing online with however many other people, thousands of players, I don't know how many, but you see them all the time, and they fade in and out of your world as kind of an apparition. So they don't really interact unless you want them to at first, and then later on they can start invading your world and attacking you and killing you, and vice versa. Or they can help you, or you can help them. There's a lot of PvP in this game compared to the first one. There's a lot more covenants that encourage PvP, which give you good equipment. The apparitions I was talking about, as you just saw right there, those things that faded in and out, were our other players. Like that's another player right there, and you can't interact with them right now. But later you can leave messages to give them hints, or you can mess with them and tell them wrong hints. But for the most part, people leave very positive messages. Back to customization. Character customization is very in depth in this game, and I'm going straight there right now. You don't customize your character immediately. There's a lot of death traps in this game. I'm just gonna go straight to the character customization. If you want to see a let's play, I have a let's plays on my page of this game. They introduce you to the character, so we're gonna create this character. Alright, and so this is your character customization. You can either choose a class, a pre-built class, one of these ones here, which come with various items and preset stats, or Deprived, which is more well-rounded. It's a little bit harder, but you have a more of a chance to determine your own class this way. Classes do and don't matter. It only matters at the very beginning, because as you level up, you determine your own class. You can start off as a sorcerer and then decide that you want to be a fighter sorcerer and start allocating points into your strength and dexterity and your vitality and stuff, instead of your intelligence and wisdom and stuff. So we're just gonna start off as a we'll do a warrior. And then you can choose your gift. Gift starts you off with an item. I'm just going to do, it doesn't matter. And then there's a ton of customization. You can change your gender, build, and the options are very in depth, which are pretty good for people who like to do that sort of thing. So we're just going to do a warrior class to start off with. And I start off with some various items here. And there's some other people. So every weapon that you pick up acts differently. They swing differently. They fight differently. Your shields act differently. And you can equip different items on different slots, and you can switch between your items. If you want to switch from your one-hand to two-handed sword, or one-hand to mage, you can do that. I went back out the main entrance. So we're gonna go out the back here. So I'll show you combat. Enemies, every enemy has a different combat ability. And before I get into that, bonfires are your checkpoints basically. You can heal at them, and you can teleport between bonfires in this game. And those are your lifesavers. If you die, you lose all the experience you've gained up to that point that you haven't spent. You can go back and collect it. But if you die trying to go back and collecting it, you've lost all those souls. And enemies will respawn between 10 to 15 times. There's controversy on the forums and stuff about that. But enemies do respawn, or stops respawning after a certain time. But this game has New Game Plus, and it doesn't seem to have a level cap. If it does, it's like level 255, which I believe was the level cap of the first one. So here are the messages that people can leave. They can leave all kinds of different choices. It's determined words and stuff. Like I'll put a message right here. You have whatever you want, like something ahead, and you go to that, and it gives you some choices. You can't type whatever you want, but you can put like something like right ahead in case there's like an enemy ahead or a secret to the right. And these messages are really helpful later on, because most of the time people are cool. Like you'll find different things like mimics and stuff. So this game is beautifully dreary. it's a rundown, dreary place, but it's very attractive looking, as you can see. And it's full of secrets, full of deadly enemies, and full of terrors that are beyond imagine. I'm gonna hit this checkpoint here, and we're gonna go to the one of the first areas that you can go to, which is down in this ruin here. Every time you swing and cast a spell, it uses stamina. Every time you run, it uses stamina. Every time you block, it uses stamina. So you gotta have to pay attention to where your stamina is at, because if you run out of stamina when you're attacking, you need to get away and recover stamina. And you just have to time your attacks right, so you don't waste your stamina. First time I fought these enemies, I died. These upcoming enemies. So here's one secret right here. Everything is a death trap. If you fall in that, you're dead. So there's treasure everywhere, hidden all over the place, and almost all treasure you find is valuable. So it's very worthwhile to search for it. Since I've been through the Forest of Fallen Giants, like literally like 50, 60 times, I know exactly what to expect from these enemies. So this guy does a combo or a power attack like that. It's best to wait and exploit enemies' openings when you attack. Otherwise, they'll kill you, because that guy can get a combo on you and you'll die very fast. And but since I've been playing this for a little while, I have these guys pretty much down. You can roll out of the way, which is a very effective tactic to get away from them, which is a lot. Which is what I do a lot. And oops, I forgot about that guy's 5th hit. Those 3 would have terrified me when I first started, and they have. I've fled from that kind of fight before. But now that I know how to control, once you learn how to control once you know how to do combat, enemies get a lot easier. But these bloodstains will show you how someone died to give you a quick hint on what might have killed them. And so that guy got killed. Oh, there's an archer over there. So there's that archer, and then there's a guy to my right that will. That guy's was kind of hard. First time I fought him. So I'm gonna pull him out of the range of that archer. So as you see, you want to pay attention to your surroundings as well as the enemies you're fighting. Okay. And then I'll show you a really powerful enemy that will kill me. And there's more than just hack and slashing. There's the rolling. You can backstab, you can sidestep, you can use your shield and parry them until they run out of stamina. You can do different types of swings. I'm probably gonna die up here, but we'll see. Because a better strategy for this area would be to like lure them down that staircase and fight them just a few at a time. Also, your crappy weapons degrade quick and you die, or they break. Okay, well I killed those guys, and then there's that archer up there I can't get. And this guy, there's a lot of NPCs that you can talk to and can't talk to, and this is not one of them. This is just a dude that'll kick the shit out of you if you attack it, and I'm gonna attack him. And I broke my weapon. You can still use broken weapons, they're just very ineffective. So this guy is a lot better at fighting. He does stronger combos, and he's a trickier fighter. And he has a wider swing, as you can see, and he hits harder. So I purposely got killed there to show you what happens when you die. So on the bottom right, it showed I had 450 souls, which are used to gain experience, and it's also used as currency in the game. And now it'll be at 0, but I can go back to that location and pick up my souls unless I die, and then I've lost it all. I'm going to change weapons and show you how a different type of weapon handles differently. Like, let's try this axe. It's a lot slower, and it has a wider arc. Or you can two-hand it, which let's I don't have any spells, so that won't matter. Alright, I'm gonna two-hand this axe. So when you can two-hand every weapon, and when you do that, it swings harder, uses more stamina, and it's a little slower. But if you want to two-hand a staff, you can do that. But as you can see, it only took 3 hits for that one and 2 hits for the other one. And this is a very wide swinging weapon, as you can tell. So as you can see, enemies are your ability to handle your weapons determines a lot in your ability to handle enemies. Alright, that archer almost hit me. Four and 5, and you're dead. So yeah, and then you have your items, your inventory, which you can equip active items on the bottom, which you can use in combat or out of combat. And then here are your attributes. These are your attributes: Vigor, Endurance, Vitality, Attunement, Strength, Dex. I don't know what ADP is. You can click Help and it'll tell you. Adaptability, so it's boost agility and various resistances. When you level up stats, if you raise your Vigor, it might raise 2 or 3 things, or your Faith, it might raise like 4 or 5 things, or different stats will raise a bunch of your resistances and your offenses and stuff, and your defenses. And then here's your history. If you write a message and people like it, they can rate it, and if it gets rated, you gain health back. It's like a healing potion, which can be a lifesaver. So yeah, that's this character. Let me show you a mage character. Let me get out of here. Quick game. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go into my mage. And I'm hoping it didn't overwrite my other character, because I'll commit suicide. I'm just thinking. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm a level 111 mage. It's my main character. Every time you level up, which is 1 attribute point, you gain a level. So this guy's 111 attribute points. This is a mage, and it handles way different than a fighter. Well, it's a sword mage. I kind of am doing both. Mainly magic, but I'm also a sword fighter. So you have various things. I have a boss right here too. These things are summon sides where you can summon allies into your game. I'm going to do that right now. I'll show you a boss and as a mage. So let me switch. Okay. I probably should use my shield on this guy. This is one of the later game bosses, and summoning allies helps a lot against bosses. These guys have probably fought this boss a lot of times, so they're really going to be good at it. So and I helped fight this boss once, so I sort of know what he does, but I'm not really powerful. So I have this spell here that attacks him on its own when I get close enough, which is very useful when you're playing defensively. Okay, so they made short work of that. Some of these bosses are really crazy, and some are not. Alright, I got an old Dragon Slayer soul and an old Leo ring. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Thank you. Anyway, so that was one of the bosses, which was made short work by them, and some of them are crazy hard. So anyway, there's that thing that has that, and then you can shoot your spells like that, and then there's fire magic as well, which require a different setup. I've got fireballs here, and chests. Okay, there's no enemies here, and there's that guy. All right. Anyway, so this is Dark Souls 2. It's really fun. Let me see if there's any. I don't think there's any enemies out here either. It's really fun, really challenging, and it's a game that I highly recommend everybody purchase. Anybody who likes an RPG, this game will give you a good experience. Everything you see. Remember that first town I was just at, my other character? That was up on top of that hill back there. Everything you see in the distance can be traversed to. So yeah, this is a highly recommended game. I've said that 17 times, but yeah, get this game. It's good. Thank you very much for watching. This is Jayzan. See you next time.